it's such a difficult decision to even end up on Vertigo. The last time they played this, I think Acor had like a 0.84 rating or something really poor like that. So definitely some question marks. And you also have to consider, it's not just mousesports who are doing their homework after losing to G2 twice. G2 were going to know what went wrong as well. Jax, though, right now starting things off, but not really taking too much blood.
Ooh, triple tags, but finally found as well. He keeps going for those fights. You can see the odds from our partners over at 1xBet, and they are lent over G2's direction. We've gone with the stats in the previous history. Oh dear, that push towards B. Rops has a timing, but he's just missed them, in fact, and they're moving towards that B bomb site here on Mouse. G2, I mean, they'll have some info, but they're flanking still towards A.
This could be disastrous. Amanek needs to find something and needs to be a little bit quicker. Next doesn't want to connect though. Rops will go down, and with this they should know. Amanek in the meanwhile as well in mid gets Dexter's life. So at least they have the man advantage, but mousesports are now indecisive. Where do they end up going? Could they be back to A with the kill on Amanek? It seems like that's where they're headed, but Nico's already lying here in wait. It's both him and Hunter. He's already found the first.
How do you navigate around this one? Nico is so prepped for this peak. Knows that he can compromise, and Acor gives the face, but he's gonna fall as well. Bemas trying to clutch things back, but Nico finds 3. It's a G2 pistol round.
And what a way to find it as well. For a second, it looked like mousesports had gone and done it. Just found the exact angle they needed to go for, but then Amanek's kill as well as Nexus combined. The aggression from G2 at all fronts gives them so much information to work off of. It's just, you know, the good old, I think it was Obo who tweeted this out a couple of weeks ago actually, that, you know, nowadays in CS it seems like the best defense is really just a really damn good offense. Just get all the information you can for a team like G2 who are very, you know, very individually skilled. You could definitely see it ringing true.
And it's something that they would love to do on the CT side. When we looked at them on Vertigo during those IEM summer qualifiers, they were getting aggressive, even when they were in man advantages. As soon as they recognized a gap that could be created as a result of early aggression, they went for even more, and they got into so many flanking positions as well.
Nexus is still very isolated over here. Hunter's in a position where he can rotate to provide some support, yes, but Nexus still needs to come out with at least one and keeping his life alive, getting a little bit more aggressive, just making sure he's avoiding the flashbangs. Hunter's caught out by them, but Nexus got one. Hunter now has time to swing while Nexus falls. He's got 2. No, can't quite connect on the second while Robs and Acor have responded. It's a 3-on-3 and a swing comes out from the side, but Acor can't finish him off in time. Frozen watching the flank, has a man to deal with. It's Jax on the MP9 and he's got the frags. No, yes. Looked like he'd missed it for just a second. And if Frozen had been given that extra time, maybe he gets a kill and Robs can do a lot more with that secondary flank. We've seen how heavily he's been lurking recently, and with that elevated position, the Deagle won't be nearly as effective. Robs will have to back off and just find another avenue to give up his life on.
Yeah, I mean, he'd do well to die trying, yeah. Be a bit awkward if you wanted to save, but this man holds the shift key for sometimes a little too long. Could pick up that FAMAS as well. It was en route, but we'll take a fight. Amanek's gone.
Might be a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, 4 seconds, 3. I mean, they're gonna try and kill him after time. And, oh dear, they're really close to doing it. Oh god.
That's massive.
Yeah, that is a massive mistake. I mean, you say it's a mistake that he kills him, right? Which is a weird thing to even consider, but then getting tracked down after time, G2 wanted that punish.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that when Nico goes down in the back lines, they already have an idea that, okay, fine, Robs is going for his good old super delayed shenanigans anyway. But now, man, it feels so weird that you're not force buying into it and you're still half buying, because it, I mean, you'd imagine they had to force buy at this point or just drop Robs the gun in the next one. He's one of those players you can't afford to not have a gun on mousesports, man. He's, you know, I think is practically top 5 player in the world candidate, so you want to see that. Of course, his style we saw yesterday as well versus Faceland can very often leave him a little bit less useful, I'd say, just with how reliant he is on his team being able to open up certain sight lines, and then that gives him the map control and the room to really lurk as a secondary information gatherer and to, you know, make the post plant just that much better.
Yeah, we did struggle to see solid defaulting here from mousesports last time on Vertigo. So hoping that that changes around. Not much time to do firm demo analysis, given how many games that they've played, but they're practicing and playing and learning as they go. Dexter tried to beat past the smoke, but they've not really got too much to work around here. Seeing if they can boost above it, in fact, but Nexus being cautious. Fancying a peek. Okay, cautious for only a moment. Trade right there. Hunter is meeting them forward. The smoke down as well will delay them even further. Still no heavy rotations coming out here from G2, but Hunter spammed one down.
25 seconds, and again, mousesports really not too big fans of the clock, put it that way. G2 look very comfortable in their positions. Excellent hold so far in the anti-ecos and half-buys. Bomb is dropped, 10 seconds on the clock. Yeah, they've got to try and die. Frozen will be the last to fall. 4 Deagles invested into this round, maybe 3 actually, but only 1 kill found off the back of it. And now you're also going into a round where, you know, generally speaking, the T side is significantly stronger in their utility and their weaponry, but with Drops having had that, let's just say, questionable moment, I don't know if that rings as true.
Yeah, so here's one of the concerns that you'll find if you're Mouse, is that the last time they faced off on this map, G2 were just unrelentlessly aggressive. So they have to play things out slow, but it's mainly been on full gun rounds that they've gone for plays like that. You know, at the start of this game, you'd expect G2 to be a bit more passive. Jax, oh dear, getting not only Molotov'd out, but the tags slow him so he cannot escape. And Nico has to come up big with the double, and he pulls it off.
How does he do it, man? He's so good with that rifle. Nexa, oh, Dotes went out over here, Nexa. He does bring it back, but can't get the kill. If I'm not wrong, that cone might have just absorbed 1 bullet. Nico, while blind, still gets Bemis. Shuts him down. It's a 3-on-2 now. We'll get another one. Looking for the A's. Acor so low. Nico could get it done, but Acor will at least save dignity and face, but not the round. No, no, no. Hunter picks up his AWP as well. The spoils of war coming through.
And look at the cousins. 7-0, 8-2. Nico, a massive 4K in the round. He's been a saving grace in a couple of them, right?
So sorry to interrupt you, Michael. Nexa literally didn't get that kill because of the cone. Because you can't wallbang cones.
Yeah. I was concerned if it was just the FAMAS spray. You know, I could forgive that to a point.
That is... Well...
It's a hazard warning.
Yeah. I guess it really is a safety cone.
Yeah. Well, there's no safety in starting 0-4 down.
No safety in being in front of Jax either, apparently. Smoke or not.
Yeah.
He's just running through it. Did, of course, see Dex earlier on. And Jax just seems to be the perfect player for this team. Always has just that one guy who will be the ultimate soldier and just ram his head against the wall if you need him to. Even in the previous round, you saw he was team flashed by Nico. There were, you know, small communication issues maybe, which is one of the reasons why he was burnt for so long. But just ready to bull rush down and give his team that information to work on. But even here, pulls out a smoke in the damn open. Just gotta love him.
Yeah, I expect him to get more and more aggressive as this game goes on. A ramp is not safe. Armanek on the alley, posted with the AWP. Hard shot to fall away from, so he knows it's a must hit. Nico's gonna get smoked off. They're trying to progress, and Hunter's found one all the meanwhile. That's that mid-lord shut down, and Jax is backing things up, slowing things down over at the site. And Nico, he's just gonna go up high. Armanek's on the flank. They didn't even realize. They do get the bomb plant, though. So Miles gets some cash injected into round number 6, but it's nice and easy there for G2.
Technically, this is mousesports' most successful round so far. Not a pretty sight. When you consider it's their map pick, when you consider, you know, T-side is on Vertigo, isn't one of those, it's not a nuke or overpass situation. A lot of people argue that the T-side of Vertigo is significantly stronger, especially if you're the team with a map pick of it. So, not a great start to things. Dexter, of course, yet to frag as well. That's one of the conditions that seems to be there for mousesports, for them to really put up a big showing on Vertigo, that Dexter has to somewhat come alive.
Acor's going for a fast peek. The smokes will deny. And They're looking to deploy a lot of early util once again to deny the mousesports aggression. You can see Jax playing right behind this one. He likes to go through this, and there he'll go. 3 players meet him though.
They were absolutely ready for that, and now Amanek has to play a little bit more safely because of it, but Nico's right around the corner. That grenade could be a big one. Looks like there's going to be too much damage. No, never mind. A lot of it. Dexter will, however, have his teammate fall. It's frozen to go down. Amanek even gets back to safety despite the wallbangs. Is playing with fire, and Nico's going to get burnt. In the meanwhile, though, rotations have come true. So if this bomb wants to go down on this A bomb site, it won't be without a pretty big fight. All 3 players from G2 Esports have come back here. Rob still in the back lines, could spot this out, but the boost will spot Beamers instead. And that's back to a 3-on-3.
And now they're going to consider that that B bomb site could have been vacated. You could see Rob slowly creeping out of his hidey hole, looking and investigating. Hunter's already beat him to that site, though. They're going for a more traditional setup as time winds down, and Mouse, you could fall into a bit of a sticky situation. Hunter is yet to die. This could be his first, or he could just lock things down. First kill is in.
Bomb drop. It's going to take so much time away. 12 seconds on the clock, that's all they have, and they've been spotted again. The dink on Robson, he just can't catch a break. Acor will find the kill, so they have a chance, but with time ticking away, it won't be an easy one. Nex has already taken Robson's life. I'm sure Acor's got the bomb, but Amanek has got the sight on him. 6-0, and G2 Esports have the perfect rotations at this point. I mean, goddamn, dude, goddamn. Just the presence of mind to rotate all your players back, realizing that Rops is, likely to lurk. You always have to be mentally considering that what if Rops just finds out that there's no one on the B-bomb side, they rotate back, we're screwed then. But they get the timing perfectly. They have even the audacity to go for a boost in that situation where they have zero information of what's going on in ramp. That is massive, and it pays off like nothing else there, man. They are dominating mousesports right now.
Yeah, and that's one of the concerns coming into this, is that we talk about Rops being a very, very long lurking player, and it pays off for him sometimes, but you could see in an instance like that where it is such a passive angle, you're not getting any information from that spot. It is firmly to just hold in for a push down those bottom steps where, G2 do like to go for plays like that, but just not having a route to take where you can get that information early enough so that you can make correct decisions in the late round and maybe potentially find an opening pick. Threatening those extremities is so important on a default. You can see Amanek is even chancing some opening fights. It's gonna be a swing and a miss though.
What a grenade, however, coming through. And now Jackson and Amanek are getting ready to face into alley. They've realized how often the peak from there comes through. Frozen was the casualty last time over. This time he's playing things a little bit more carefully.
I know.
And Amanek's been the sleeper AWPer, man.
Yeah, he has been.
He's really showed up.
And it's not as though he's been thrust into that role and he's played a very passive game. He's gone and tried to give it his all. He's tried to look for opening picks very often.
The wallbang Frozen, they just know where he is. It's almost like they've already played 2 best-of-3s against him this week. But this is the thing, Michael. It just seems like G2's read of Mouse just gets better and better every single time they're playing. Nico, meanwhile, might just be about to walk into a boost, but Robs has dropped down already, so no chance of catching the man out. The timing just not working out for them. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, this much nade damage taken on the T side, they don't have map control. Where did they go?
Yeah, 30 seconds left. They've taken so much damage from that nade, and now they're congregating over towards A. They're going to have to pass by Amanek, though.
20 seconds. Got to make a move. Rops is trying to come in from middle. Amanek will be considering pushing forward as well. They don't have the flashes to flush him out of this position. Bemis is using it for the side. Frozen should go down, and indeed he does. Meanwhile, Jack's delaying from on top of the super box, keeping them at bay. 8 seconds on the clock, and the bomb's being planted. Acor on top of default, but Hunter on the side gets 2, denies it, and the round will go the way of G2. Rops once again finding nothing. G2 are being so good at avoiding Rops no matter where he's going. He's 2-6 right now. I just called him a top 5 player in the world.
Yeah, this is not looking pretty here for Mouse. They're just grinding off so much time on the clock. And, we talked about VP earlier on, you know, how they looked a little bit pretty good against Spirit, you know, that wasn't without its flounderings. You know, they had these advantages and then they were kind of letting them slip. We talk about them being this person to beat within the lower bracket. That still awaits the winner of this series. And at the moment, that's kind of the story here for Mouse, is that they do seem to be floundering about a little too long. You know, waiting in the default after you're finding nothing for far too long, there needs to be a change. And you can see that a timeout's come out here for Mouse. They are talking about their options. Likely to see them speed things up in these next few. But, I mean, it's already a 7-0 start. So G2 can start to mix things up themselves.
I mean, you're talking about mixing things up. G2, other than the one round where they had the, you know, fantastic rotations, they've just been playing their standard CS. They haven't needed anything so far. It says, okay, check your angles, make sure you're not too deep, make sure that you're clustered together late round so that Robs can't find you. If you're separate, be very, very safe in your separate angle. That just seems to be the name of the game for G2. And this is mousesports' map pick if you're just tuning in.
Oh.
Hunter. Again, great position. Could be another one. Robs again, just goes down, and he's got two. No, Jax is steal the first, but hey, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
Yeah, the high and the low ground peak there in mid, so Mal's walk into a firing squad. And they were isolated fights, you know, they were spacing to trade one and done positions. Not gonna happen. A more aggressive stance over towards B as well. You can see next up close. Jax has pushed the limit though in towards mid, and Frozen tried to get his hands on that AK that was dropped. Only BMS and A-Core that remain. Chance at it.
Look, this is a half-by round, sure, but it's a T-side half-by. It's not a T-side half-by. You generally see a lot more kills coming in. Sure, that's one. That's at least good for BMS. He's not had, you know, too much action so far, so anything he can find wouldn't be horrible.
I mean, this is just going to be a save.
I mean, they have full loss bonus, so I don't know if it's worth it to actually go for a save.
He's got more value.
Try and get true, but at the same time, you kind of want to play for, hey, maybe if I get another kill or two, I can, you know, we can be in a position to break their economy by winning 2 or 3 rounds. You know, you have to have that in the back of your head mentally.
Yeah, but I mean, he got his hands on the bomb with like 20 seconds left.
Yeah,
Walking,
yeah.
it just, you can tell that they don't feel. This doesn't feel like the same mousesports we saw yesterday. I think it's fair to say a lot of the problems that we were seeing were mainly about closing out rounds where they should be winning them traditionally. You know, they were still finding those advantages, but like you said, G2 are playing a very standard game, and Mouse just looks a little flat. More than a little.
Yeah.
See if things change now moving into the 9th. They'll certainly be hoping that's the case. All too traditional here for G2. Jax holding the angle and the creep up. They're making some progress over towards the alley. That's because Armanek's playing a different position. Doesn't want to be too predictable himself. He can come out from the sandbags, and Jax will find one. It's traded immediately, though.
Dexter to find his first, if I'm not wrong, off the map, so at least there is that to work off of. Generally can be quite a force on that AK, so if this is one of those rounds where he can redeem himself, they're desperately needed. Armanek, meanwhile, inching forward. Now, this is where, again, you can see Nexa playing a very safe angle on the B bomb site because maybe just a little bit worried about Robs' lurk potential. Robs, however, is over towards mid, if I'm not wrong. No, rather, Vertigo map, always confusing. Hold that thought, though. Armanek, back to sandbags he goes, and they might not be expecting this. They might not be expecting the second player here. 35 seconds. They've waited a long time. They don't use the Molotov to clear it out. They don't have time. Nico's on the bomb side. He can delay for long enough. The Molotov has been expended. Now it's all Armanek, but Armanek's predicted. Dexter takes him down and a second on top of it. Dexter with 3 so far seems to have unlocked the round, but Hunter and Nexa still alive. Going for it. Hunter gets another one despite the double peak and makes this a doable clutch for Nexa.
We talked about how many clutches G2 won last time they faced. We'll see if Nexa can add one to the tally. Frozen and Rops the other side. There's a kit available, and he just needs to suss them out. Those are going to be playing passive. They don't want to let this one slip, and he's ground off a lot of time off this clock.
Right now. Gets the first, could go for the second. Instead has to stick to the fuse, just not the time for it. Has to maybe get the kill. Is there time? Absolutely not. The AWP is all he can try and save, but even that will escape from him. Still, in a 2 versus 4, finding 4 kills, that's pretty nutty. Hats off for Dexter for his 3K. Obviously, great entries, all of them fantastic. Having the awareness to locate Amanek as well is massive, but losing out a lot of men.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage done to that T side. Mao's just gonna be happy that they get that first, but you can see that immediately, as soon as they start to feel the inclination that there could be a comeback coming, instant timeout called here for G2. And they've been able to sit on some pretty coffers. They've had some solid rounds. It took a while before Mouse were all too threatening, and even in rounds where they'd gotten kills, you could see that the round was pretty much done and dusted. Definitely that best chance that they've had so far. And you could see coming into after a round win, Acor's on a scout.
I mean, you're talking about the scout. Look, I can excuse not having an op. Just 2 Galils can't feel good. Ah, Bemis is already down as well. That was one of the AKs they had too. We're really hoping to find a little bit more from that. And, you know, it just seems like whenever Amanek is in position to have an early contest, he finds something.
Yeah, all from an early shift up, right? He's been over towards A so far this game, and just taking that B stairs angle instead. They weren't ready.
And that's where, you know, we were saying G2 hasn't really been doing anything unconventional, and that could be their time. Nexa waiting for the flashes to come through and finish up. He sees the shadow, gets the first. Frozen's down, and he knows there's already a man who's walked past. Hiding away inside the smoke, dodging all the bullets he can, but Dexter's already found his teammate. And meanwhile, Nexa's still alive, but Dexter with the second will change that. Amanek now has to save face from the generator, waiting for anything to come his way, but no one's actually pushing. mousesports are playing this post plan very conservatively with all the utility being used. Amanek will peek out, but not find anything. He's waiting inside the smoke.
Are they falling?
mousesports. I mean, Akor could just push through this. Jax reveals himself. Jax might still get it. Nico's the one to finish it off. Now, back to a 2 versus 2. Dexter with the only piece of utility across the map. A flashbang that can be deployed for Robs. He's only got a Galil to peek out, but he'll do it nonetheless sooner rather than later. Still waiting inside the smoke is Robs. He's trying to play around it. There isn't the time, and Robs is peeked out. Robs might have just done it there and then. Hiding away, and Nico doesn't have the time nor the ability to find him and take him down. Second round found for mousesports. It is a chaotic one, but again, it's Dexter's entries that take them on.
Yeah, and getting consecutive rounds is going to feel a lot better. Now for Mouse, they're not only cracking into these bomb sites. That was when they started at a man deficit as well. You know, they didn't read into the ult position of Nexa. It wasn't an ideal buy, or sorry, from Amanek, sorry. And it wasn't an ideal buy coming into it, but they get that their hands on that AWP. They move forward into this next round as well, and it's finally ground out some of that money away from G2. So they're on pistols coming into that potentially a 3rd round here for Mouse. They've immediately gone for a gamble stack here with those pistols on the side of G2. They're looking to pressure a ramp. They've heard the scope already here from Akor. Granted by that elevation. Courtesy Vertigo.
Circa 2018.
And I think this is going to be one of those things where we know Mouse can be cool-headed in these clutch moments. And you need to see them succeed in some of these post plans. G2 have been grinding out so much of the clock, looking for the kills, expecting Mouse to swing, but they're playing it to perfection, just playing a very passive game when it comes down to that bomb being planted.
But look, at the same time, we haven't seen G2 going for that, you know, like you mentioned, that Payton did super aggressive style so far. Sure, Jax has had some peaks, but beyond that, have we really seen basically anything coming out from them? You know, I don't count an off peak down B stairs as the biggest sign of aggression personally, but hey, now G2 is going to back off, try and get together, go as 5 maybe, just to get some pickoffs here and there. Of course, with mousesports' economy being at the state it is still quite vital to take guns away. Now, Michael, I might be getting ahead of myself here, but I'm gonna big brain 5-head this.
Right.
G2 are trying to bait mousesports into thinking that they bought weapons, but only 1 or 2 of them, and that's why they're saving them on the other side of the map. So if mousesports comes hunting, G2's like, haha, we only have USBs, but we're gonna take your weapons instead. What's up now?
I don't believe that for a second.
You shouldn't. It's
Yeah,
a terrible theory.
that's
but
it's about as I've heard. I'll let you dream though. You can hold on to whatever beliefs you want to.
You will never take it away from me. However, mousesports might be able to take away a few more rounds, and let's not forget, CT side economy as fickle as always can be. Look at how few deaths G2 has across the board. I mean, other than Jax, they all have died, what, less than half of the game so far, and still they were forced to save. mousesports can definitely find their way back.
We may start to see the tides turn a little bit in terms of these setups. You can see Almanac tempting himself into a peek himself. Expecting Acor to be on the other side, so he's jiggle peeking the angles, and they know that Jax likes to sit behind this smoke. Some spam coming his direction. Oh, I think they just spotted Acor. They know what he's up to. They're very contentious. Middle is going to be where assets are sent, and the boost finds Nico. Last time they went for that mouse, found nothing from it, but they've gotten an entry, and Acor's got the pick as well.
Now a 3 versus 5. mousesports. It's all about making sure you're not bleeding out anything at this stage. Almanac trying to be a little bit more... he's caught out though. They know exactly where he is. Almanac's gonna have to reposition, and that might be a little bit too long. The flashbang at the very least doesn't catch him out, and on the jump back, I think he saw 2 players, but you can't ever be sure with X-Ray. Rotation coming back towards A this time, looking like it might be a little bit less successful, and G2 might be forced back on the save. The bomb is headed to B, and it should be a free punch.
They still got Dexter trying to sell this fake over towards A, and they have fully been down on it. They wanted to go for that gamble, and now they realize that, oh, wait a second, he's alone. See if they can find some additional damage. They have enough utility to make this one work, and given the clutch rate statistics, there is a possibility to pull this one off. Damage done. Nexus brought it to equal numbers, but he's so low HP, so is Almanac. Could still go the conservative route.
Almanac in the back lines, but Hunter's Molotov as well. God, they're going for this. This could be the decision that could just turn things around for either side. Hunter's already gone down. Frozen with a flashbang's got 2, and Nexus got to back off, and he's not going to be able to. Beamus shuts him down, and mousesports, that might be it, Michael. That's a foundation for 7 if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, they were really turning that ship around, and you could see the temptation was there. As soon as Nexus gets the kill, he's sort of darting back. I'm low. They're still scoping in, looking for picks. They're throwing the utility in as well. Just that hesitation, and you're right, that decision could open up the door for mousesports to turn this one into a much more competitive half. They were looking a little down and out to start this one.
Jax. Back to Old Faithful. Hasn't really found much from this position so far, other than information, but hey. But a deagle in his hands, it's all about the alpha angles, I suppose. And look, one thing we've got to commend mousesports for is that every one of their players for sure has maybe more mental fortitude than the years that they spent in the game might suggest. You know, we saw that yesterday. Frozen had some pretty abysmal moments on the CT side of Overpass, still managed to bring it all together to help them clear things out. Acor, same with him. Not a great first 2 maps, and then the third one was banging. You don't even need to talk about Robs. The mousesports have what it takes to make this seemingly impossible come back from an 8-0. And look, let's all beat around the bush. G2 have had their fair share of troubles when it comes to the mental. Recently looked a lot better, though. I'll give them credit for that. But maybe something's a brewing. Acor, however, not landing that initial shot.
Yeah, pistols can certainly still be deadly. explain anything about Nico and the D. Dexter, kill on Jax. There is okay. Nexa close up, and he'll get traded out. Almanac trying to take some high ground advantages, and they don't know that Hunter is here. Sees that at a distance, though, is going to be a little bit difficult. They're not holding for him, though, and he almost gets a kill. He said a lot of damage, and it almost canceled the plan. Does go down here for Mouse, and only Almanac and Nico to surpass. Just about limiting damage in themselves as well, getting a confident win under their belt if they can. See, Almanac still wants to do a bit more, find some headshots.
I go lying and wide with the AWP. That's a potentially very expensive missed shot. Almanac's able to come through with one over here. He's going for more, but can't land the shot under Rops, who himself was low, so definitely susceptible to that P250. Nico backs off, and look, Nico with the Eagle is great, unfortunately. Only if he can find people to work against. Now, G2, you're officially getting into, okay, we're slightly scared territory. Because individually, you know, all the numbers still look balling. They look really good, but not when you consider where they started off. Hunter was 12-2. Nico is 9-3. Both of these players have not been able to find the duels on their own pace the same way they were for the first quarter of this game.
The longer this goes on as well, you would expect Mouse to be very hyper-aware of these aggressive pushes. They've been playing it slow to counteract that so far.
Oh, grenade.
Yeah, landing right at the feet of those two players, nestled into the corner. So some solid damage exchange at the start. Jax maybe even tempted for a little bit more. There's so many players grouped up over towards that A side. Oh. Yeah, Jax won't try that one again. 19 HP remains on him. I've got the info I want. Going for some information in towards mid, though, RG2. And, you know, you look into the demos, you see Rops lingering towards mid fairly frequently. Likely to try and pull the trigger on that a little bit ahead of schedule. It's been slower in some of these rounds, but still information trying to be gathered over towards that A side. Utility thrown over. Rops missing the molly, but still it's a firework that could entertain G2 a little longer.
Rops are going... not Rops, rather. I'm about to say Rob Sports accidentally. Mouse Sports are going... Like some memes never die. Jax dodging out the flashes. This could be big, but he can't turn around in time. Frozen's been able to scale up the site and take him down. Nico now. Molotov to deny the bomb plant. Grenade as well. Could be big. Dexter's down. It's Nico's Molotov to finish him off. The utility damage all it takes, and Nico's gone for more, and it could be 3 indeed. Mousesports no longer able to stop the beast. And with 10 seconds left, it's only fire that can soothe them down, but they can't get the bomb, and they have to back off.
Yeah, that's rough. You immediately call out that Hunter and Nico started off well and then started to taper off as Mouse are winning more and more rounds. Then Nico comes up with that. Solid utility protocol to deny the plant initially, and then just taking these fights.
And, you know, you also have to point it out, that is absolutely a mistake from Mousesports. That Dexter, the player who's already been naded down heavily, is going for the bomb plant. He only had 53 HP from that. A Molotov and a grenade, considering how much of Vertigo's meta is set around contesting the bomb plant on the A side. It's a small thing, but it comes back to bite them in ways that maybe you don't quite get to when you're initially thinking of it. Nico and Hunter both up to 15 though. God damn.
It's a hard one as well to predict because G2 have shown both sides of the coin. You know, when you throw that A execution, they've had the tendency to run through. We've seen that from Hunter so far this game. We've also known them to be able to throw the retake utility. Nico displaying that, but the other players as well, more on rotations, are going to be in line to throw those themselves. And part of that as well comes down to just being able to pressure all sides of the map, where that hasn't been the case.
Now with a slightly different angle from Jax, so much damage. Frozen could still end up going down, but the grenade, the grenade, it's going to be perfect, but he misses it. Can't get it through. Frozen will live to fight another day because of it, and I don't even know if he realizes that nade was missed.
Frozen's creeping up, man.
Yeah, he's got so much space.
They don't have
no one
any
else on
idea.
the bomb site. That could be the round there and then, but Jax is putting up a heroic defense all on his own. Frozen, however, is aware of the possibility of more CTs. Now he's trying to lurk back in. Could just be a B-side hit that they're going for, but Jax is completely blocked off ramp and they've got 4 in B.
Oh my goodness. Oh, crucial fight as well. So they're going to lean further towards that B side, but that mid presence does stop them in their tracks even further. They're not going to be able to go and progress that direction. Frozen has so much information, but he hasn't spotted players out. He just knows that he has a potential flank on this B-bomb site.
Oh no. He's going to think it's completely clear. Hunter's position, it's
impeccable. They know he's there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was setting up for a big moment for Hunter. I'm a little bit silly now, but hey. Even so, double Molotov, one more than they needed. Ops will find Nico in the meanwhile, and 2 ops for a retake, not really ideal, but they have to try for it nonetheless. The Molotov again, just keeping them at bay. Amanek coming in from the back lines is still smoked off. No one speaking from mousesports' side. They don't even need to retreat. It's the last round of the half. It doesn't seem like there's any way for these 2 ops to get it done, but maybe Jackson come through and make a miracle happen. He's trying to move past, will get the close range shot, going for more, picks up the AK in a 1 versus 2, 2 kills so far, but can't adjust in time. It's 9-6, and we've got to go to a break because mousesports and we need a breather to see what they can do in the next one to bring them back.
Baby, can't you see that this ain't wrong or right? 'Cause you can't let go, but I can't hold on like this. So you can't let go, 'cause I can't go on like this. So I'm leaving you with or without tonight. Baby, can't you see that this ain't wrong or right? So you can't let go, 'cause I can't hold on like this. So you can't let go, 'cause I can't go on like this. You ask if we could talk, but then say nothing. Maybe you just had too much to say. 'Cause when you call me up, you just want one thing. And maybe in the end you'll get your way. But I just wanna know, oh, 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 yeah, if we should take it slow, oh, 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 yeah. I just wanna show ya I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh, 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 yeah. I just wanna know. We just need to stop and take a moment to slow things down, work this out. I got your love on top, we're in the moment, and maybe that's what we're about. Tell me what you want me to be, baby. I promise I can be the one you're craving. 'Cause I think that I know what you've been chasing.
G2 in the lead at 9, but not one that's dominant by any stretch of the imagination. They started off 8-0, and mousesports have clawed it back. Can their ascent back up the hill of, well, I'd call it upsets, but it's still a pretty close matchup. Can that ascent continue? I'm Teet, I'm joined by Yumi to see exactly who can come out the victor.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot more of a clear-cut solution, but now with Mouse finishing things off relatively well on that T side, we'll see if they can get things done on CT. It's the expectation that it will be a lot cleaner of an affair. A couple flashes of kit available on Dexter as well. And keep your eyes on Dexter overall. His reads, his rotates are going to be very dependent on the information that's gathered here from Miles on the CT side. Makes the player role very similar to Tabson in that respect. Some information probing here from G2. Flash, a peek, and that utility that they brought forward is going to pay dividends. There's 3 players still located over towards this A side and in a bit more of a forward face so that they are prepared for any ramp pressure. They're holding at 2 different angles as well, so it's going to be harder to contend. They're going to hear the steps over at A as well.
Let's see how the double alley setup goes out from mousesports. So Frozen immediately taken down. A-Core with the trade is ready to keep alley from being occupied. The double smoke goes out for the T side. A-Core needs to get 1 before he dies. He might just make it 2, but can't chain it together. Bemis will, however, pick up the scraps and he will shut them down. What a setup. G2 sending man after man after man after man in through the scaffolding to the alley, and it just seemed like mousesports' clown car would never stop delivering. Every time they come around, it's another man.
Yeah, how many heads are they going to have to chop off of this Hydra? Because they're just another player waiting around the corner. Mouse have really done a good job in that respect. And a crucial pistol for them to win as well, considering that they had a ride of momentum coming away from that first half.
Yeah. Without even letting them get the bomb plant, so, you know, they don't even have that first fight coming out from G2. Instead, could be an opportunity for running in. Rubs, however, will try to get the farmers kills, but somehow they've given up 2 already. Beam is lining them up, though. That's a pretty looking spray, and he's got 4. Okay, Bemis, let's go.
Yeah, fast rotate in. He was ready to fight as soon as that contact was made. It almost feels like a similar experience. You know, they deal with 2, they get surprised 2 frags, and then all of a sudden there's another player they need to beat. Reacting quickly are Mouse to the steps that are being made. That's, of course, not a round that should have been as contentious as that. You know, that is still very much a bit of a blunder that the pistols get as much damage as they did. Now moving into a full AK buy and going for some faster default aggression as well. Hunter. Steps made towards the alley. That nade not quite meeting the mark. A-Core can be pressured forward as a result of the flames. They've heard the tags.
Hunter might just refire this or spam him down. They're right opposite each other.
Oh my goodness.
Passing by, but they're still keeping an eye out for it. A-Core backs off at the perfect time, but now he's jumped out. That's the mistake. And he is punished for it. Hunter seemingly trapped between his own utility and a Molotov, but his teammates are doing it all, and he's not shy to go get busy himself either. Bemis now left all alone. Suddenly, G2 have cascaded down from everywhere and shut down seemingly everyone. Bemis, a 1-on-5 might be ambitious for you, my friend, but may as well try and get this.
Well, he's found 2 so far. Gets Jax. This is a whole different story. Okay, it's certainly on. He could go for this if he really wanted to.
Oh, the bomb's alone. There's only 1 more player to contend with, and Hunter's only got 5 HP. But the question is, does he waste too much time checking for it?
If he chucks the
Hunter,
nade?
I mean, this could be massive. He's only even got a kit. He's peeking out. He's got it.
Surely
this is
not.
it. A 1-on-5
No
clutch.
way.
Bemis has got it. There's no way to stop this. Grenade doesn't do enough damage, and he's got the kit. This is barely there in time as I'm a neck. How do they get away with that?
Oh man, Bemis. What an effort that's made. And he had a perfect call on where the players were positioned. He was fully sticking it. He'd heard the steps earlier on that flank.
God, that was only 0.05 seconds. Something ridiculous like that. Oh.
I can't believe that.
Oh, I mean, look at his face as well. He knew he had it in the palm of his hand. Just looks at the camera, can't believe it himself. The 1-on-5, man. God. And, I mean, just G2 taking the time out. mousesports will also need to calm down a little bit after that, I'm sure.
Yeah, starts as three extreme entries towards multiple different facets of the map. They go for a very aggro style default. They're on the side of G2. They're willing to take these fights at the early stage, something we didn't see Mouse do on their T side, and it worked so well, only for Bemis to slip the net and almost pull that one off.
God,
That is so ridiculous.
that would have been huge.
Still a G2 round though.
And still a G2 advantage. Mousesports forcing off the back of it, of course they are. God damn it, guys, he just had 4 kills. Give him an M4. Of course, you can't really blame the Mako and Frozen, both a pretty damn good hand with the rifles too. This grenade, not quite at the mark, but it might just force G2 to wait a little while longer. Yeah, and look at Rops. Gotta get a sight on him. What's he up to? Dexter, however, waiting for them to start coming through. CZ is going to be swinging out soon. He's avoided the first push. Can he get a little bit done from behind? Only good for one, but they're still coming out on top. It's a 2v2, and Robs is on the flank. They might not realize it. There's 50 seconds on the clock, and with a lot of utility, it might be a bomb plant time, but Robs, he's being... Oh, no, he jumped up at the wrong time. Shax is caught out, but Nico with the double tap. It's clutches all around. Jax, it looked like he'd given up the round by jumping up for a split second.
Yeah, then Robs tried to line up the frag. Nico with the trade instantly, and then it's a flick right back. Oh my goodness. And this is one of the things we cannot emphasize enough. There is so much talent in the server. It is so quick. Hesitate a moment, and you will lose the duel. Potentially lose the round.
God. And again, Michael, you said it before, it's all about these clutches between G2 and Mouse.
Didn't start that way.
Yeah. Fair enough, but look, we're CS fans. All we remember is how something ends, not how it starts, alright?
Well, they've gone for a stack at the start of this one. Since I'm interested in the whole story. We'll preface with that. There's an SMG as well, ready to meet them should they get aggro. And once that bomb gets planted, they're likely going to be like, we've gambled the wrong bomb site. Let's see what's towards the bottom side of the steps. And if Armanek plays his cards right, it's a whole lot of money that could go his way. They're going to investigate a little earlier.
Well,
never mind.
He had the cards. It's like when you fold with a royal flush. It's not a good feeling.
What could have been.
Could have been indeed. mousesports, however, just looking for a little bit more damage, a little bit more cash. As impressive as they have looked in the past few, let's not forget, lost one is not that good. Any money you can get at this stage is important. Also, you know, G2 don't really have much of their own, so there is that to consider. Just waiting for any sort of exits that can come out. Probably just
prepping a flash.
Looking to, yeah, it could just be a rush forward to try to prevent what they can. Flashbang won't really catch out anyone either. Attraction to the sandbags combined with Nico will be able to make some quick work. Nex is actually getting quite a bit of money, and that works out against them. 3 Mac 10 kills is not really what you wanted to give away at that stage.
Oh, Rops tried to take one down with him, since he was likely to go up with that bomb. Or if he could have transitioned away, he would have liked to as well, but instead dying in the middle. Mitigation of expenditure into this next round by only losing the one additional player, and like you said, Nexa farming up that cash that Armanek missed out on. If he's not going to get the discount for the follow-up, then, you know, give the coupon over to Nexa. He'll take it. Ooh, miss on the ramp smoke. That's not ideal.
Especially with how little utility they have already, and that gives so much more room to Nexa, but a grenade is not too kind to him. Not a damage dealt. Whoops as well is about... How does that... Oh my god, how does that... Fair enough, but like... You could just see it popping right on his head. Even so. mousesports need to find some information, or else this round is going to be very much a coin flip depending on wherever G2 decides to go. Bemis waiting inside mid, just keeps on shoulder peeking it out. G2 is going to be peeking this together, and Bemis, as defensive as he is, should be comfortable. A minute on the clock, the smoke comes out, Molotov right behind him. He's got one of his own, so it keeps them from going into the B bomb site with the flank. Instead, they'll circle back and find Dexter. In the meanwhile, Jax has got 2, and Acor has to recover, but Jax has dropped down already, so there's no way for him to trade back. 14 seconds on the clock, and the A bomb site's completely open.
Acor's right into it slightly, knows that there's a pathway that's opened up, but they're still losing players over at B, so although Acor could have siphoned, that's the round. Now going to prioritize the save instead, and what an entry there from Jack, just beating past the smoke, realizing that that molly was down to prevent the wrapping play in towards B, so he just found another way to have impact.
Yeah, this is one of the one we've got very safe saying that Acor is not going to get a clutch out on.
And that's a snap decision, it feels like. It's a good protocol there from Bemis, just to throw the Molotov to prevent them from encroaching towards B all too easily, especially with them throwing so much utility into that direction. And the fact that Jax finds that rotate is so massive.
Yeah. You know, Dexter just not ready for the sharp swing to come through immediately at that point. You know, again, that's where the problem of not going for information comes in. Maybe if they already had, if Bemis had a slightly wider angle, and I don't mean to blame him for it. You have no utility. You've got so little support there that you're relying purely on yourself. So you don't blame him, but you know, it gives them a little bit more time to prepare. Jack's gonna maybe round a corner, sit in a slightly more conservative position. But Jax just takes him down. And mousesports, this is suddenly looking a lot like what we saw in the first half, but you don't quite have the same leeway of coming back into these things when you're down 13-8, probably 14-8 with the way things are looking.
Yeah, I felt like they just took a little while to get the engine up and running, but they may have run out of gas once again. Certainly need the money for the petrol. Using both just so that I appease both the US and the British audience.
It's all right. The US will, doesn't want to see us anyway. Isn't that what everyone's saying? Oh, Frozen. Backing off.
What do they use in that other game? Credits? I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I think his arm is just a little bit visible there. Or it could just be a blind brief. NX is good at those. Really, that's a terrible name. Let's call it money. Anyhow, back to this one. Dex has got one. Dex is looking for more long-range deals. Generally, not too bad for the AK, but not this time around. And this is where I'm also looking towards Dexter, Michael, because he is generally the player who will sometimes turn things around for this team. We saw it in the first half for sure. The 2 rounds they were able to win initially, which gave them everything. Nice shot from Bemis, right? Looking for more. Will get the damage needed to shut down Jax as well. But like I was saying, Dexter was on 0 kills and 9 deaths. And suddenly comes out with a 3K entry and a 2K entry. I'm looking for something like that from him once again. He's generally the player to step up in these, linchpin situations. If this isn't a linchpin situation, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it's strange to think of that in that context, right? That Dexter may underperform, I think, in general, and then when it comes to pivotal key moments, we've seen him have massive impact. Redemption rounds.
Yeah. Frozen's not doing anything on the server, though, unfortunately. I mean, in the first half, Armanek just had his number constantly. In the second one, it seems like he's just not finding deals. And he's generally such an important part of the mousesports, firepower. We talk about it all the time. It's supposed to be this triangle of Frozen, Rops, and Acor. Right now, none of them are really showing up on the server.
See what they have on the cards for this one. The Rops-Dexter duo do like to get aggro beat steps, but look at the pacing here from Jax. They're going for a fast mid-take. Jax has got so much progress.
He already has it. 15 seconds into the round, Dexter Was the last casualty found there. Now could be
Oh,
Frozen,
the
but the
flash is
flashbang,
perfect.
Frozen will be able to shut him down. Bemis is ready for that one, and Aiko might be looking to get aggressive as well. A flashbang would not go amiss for him here, but instead he sees them. He's confused. He can't decide between the two, and Nexa finds it instead. Frozen looking to step up. He heard my comment. He's been called, and he will answer. 3 kills already, sets up for it all. Dexter finds one. Hunter alone versus 4. He's got the skills, but does he have the position? Molotov at his feet will not suss him out, but indeed it will when it spreads and Rops is ready. They sealed the deal. Mousesports will at least find 9. Frozen right when we're calling him out. He is called upon and he will deliver.
Yeah, good reaction as well there from Mouse after recognizing that the Molotov and the smoke were utilized in the same spot to create that instant prevention of angles and sightlines in there for Mouse to even have information in mid.
Yeah.
It takes 2 players, but you only have Jax to beat and he's full blind. That's an easy fight. That was such a good position to find yourself in at the start as well. That's a really clever way to apply pressure in the early stages.
Also, you can just use that as a fake now if you choose. Always fun to see these new ways of response. I think it was really popularized on Nuke, quite big, but we're going to hold that thought because Mousesports, if they can get up to 11, you know, that's where G2 start to sweat a little bit more. This time, much slower pace, and I have to commend them for the multiple changes of pace that they're bringing out time and time again, but they are seemingly headed for the B-bomb side. Rops hasn't had much action to work off of, mostly been in retakes so far. Maybe this could be the round.
Certainly congregating over. Still holding on to a lot of utility here on that CT side as well. Waiting for the prompts. So nades thrown over towards A. You know, there's a counteracting Molotov, but it doesn't quite hit the mark. Extinguished instead. You can hear the Molotovs being primed, so they know what's coming over that B-bomb site. Molotovs thrown down to try and prevent them from getting the space on in. Rob's close.
Dexter times that perfectly. They've got the first 2, but Aminex taking down Robs. Dexter still alive at default, but not for long. Still, great situation for the retake. They've got so much offensive utility to prevent the bomb plant from happening, and there's only 30 seconds left. The grenade as well doing so much damage, and they're trying to spam through. Nexus alone versus 3, finds the first, can't make it more. It'll be Mousesports to secure a 10th round, but G2 will at least secure their money with the bomb plant. They should have enough to go for another slightly questionable buy. But even so, man, that was a very well-placed Molotov from Dexter.
Yeah, at the moment, the reactions on what G2 are presenting in these rounds, the utility placement from Mouse is pretty spot on here on the CC side. You know, we've seen them mainly just lose out on straight gunfights, I think is what has hurt them so far in this half.
Yeah.
And as G2 move to more and more strategies, Mouse are looking to respond in kind.
It's not helpful when Nico's just getting 2 random one-taps at perpendicular angles.
Yeah.
So, they know where he is. That grenade's pretty big, actually. No, it drops down a little bit too far. And now, instead, they've called in for a second one. So, decent damage dealt onto Nexa regardless. He will have to be slightly more careful. But G2 are not giving up on this idea of coming up alley. And it seems like Mousesports is aware of this. They're just keeping them at bay longer and longer. They're trying to funnel them back towards that B bomb site, it seems like, and that might have succeeded, but their own players aren't rotating.
He's over again. Oh, this time he's alone, and there's nothing to help slow things down. Bemis has been flashed up. He's there on that rotate. The smoke denying more information. Dexter's here, though. They've actually congregated on the side of Mal behind the generators, but they get gunned down moving past the smoke.
That one flash from Jack does it all, and now it's a 2v5 that they have to go for. Even if they say they're not going to have a proper buy in the next one, and with Frozen going down, Acorn no longer has a choice. Once again, the 1v5 save has to come through, and Mousesports, right when everything seemed to be working for them, they slip up a little bit too much. Rob's caught with a grenade in his hand, can't quite deliver, and then 2 players flashed out by a single flashbang. Okay, Acorn, is this a repeat? He's not going to want to go for it, though.
About it.
Yeah, not quite the same confidence as Bemis had, and Nico should be able to come in from the side, invisible. Scope taking away so much of that peripheral vision, and there you have it, mousesports. Oh, they've got a buy, but not a good one.
You can see Nico had the choice as well at the end there to pick up the AWP, but he doesn't want it. He's that T-side AWPer. At least we've seen on some maps that that's the case, but the change in and the ability to pace efficiently has really been a massive benefit for G2. Maybe even trying to go for some fake information. Let's not forget you can see a little bit after you die, so him picking up that ult and then trading it back to the AK could be some false info thrown in the way of Mouse. Drops. Oh, they're prepared for his aggressive face towards the steps, and now Dexter's under pressure. That counter nade though, right on the money.
This entire game, G2's had the read on Robs every single time. They just know where he wants to go, be it CT side or T side. Now though, Dexter, he's trying to play it close. Like I said before, he can generally be the man with the golden hand at the worst of times. But question is he going to have the opportunity to even pull it out? G2, still undecided, still so much time to work off of. Rotations really need to come back towards this B-bomb side if they want to get any information. Armanex just wasted so much time as well with that one smoke. Flashbang goes through, but they're not biting into it. Mousesports, they don't want to rotate until Ako's got some sort of sightlines. Smoke, come forward. A Molotov as well. He's been blocked, but a Molly of his own will buy some time. He doesn't have much HP, and Dexter's already dead. So it's all Ako's job to try and defend this bomb set as they're trying to climb through. He's looking for any angle he can get, but he made noise while falling off the railing, and that should be it. Frozen. A good kill from long range with a nade, but with this much time, it won't matter. G2 are in perfect positions to shut down anything. Nico's even watching for the flank, so no shenanigans possible, but Bemis has found Nico, somehow expecting it. Bemis needs to go soon. They don't have a flashbang to work off of. Nexa around the concrete in a very difficult to clear angle, and as they go in, they get the kill. Hunter is still able to get it done. 16-10, G2 take away Mousesports' map pick, and we've got to go to a break now to see whether Mousesports can bring it back.